Hey guys, David. Welcome to Great Choice Audio Video. Hey, today we're going to continue on from a previous video on rack building. This happens to be a rack that we've been working on. Not quite finished with it yet, but we're still waiting on some multi-channel amplifiers for the bottom section. But I want to get you guys caught up to where we're at as of today. We've done a lot of work on the back. As you can see, we'll link it up here at the top. The previous video showing how bad this rack was. This was an existing rack that we've been working on, but this just goes to show you how much or how useful a rack can be when you have it, especially when you're dealing with a lot of equipment. Everything is centrally located. So this is a great example of, after a few years, it's time to kind of revamp a little bit, to upgrade some components, and how much neater, easier, just how much better the experience is on making the transition to incorporating some new products, taking away some products, making some changes. So, with that being said, let's pull it out. And again, guys, being on a rack, that's what it's all about. And so as you see, I'll turn this around, we have a new trunk coming. We have two trunks, which, for those that don't know what a trunk is, it's just a bundle of wire that we have coming from the wall. So again, guys, like I said in a previous video, when doing any kind of racks, bringing in your main trunks to the rack, you always want to bring them up, mid-level or higher, never to the bottom of the rack, because the wires can drag and be damaged over time, pulling it in, pulling it out. So again, I want to show you why a rack is so important, because if you were to have it in a cabinet, you wouldn't be able to do what I just did. I'm able to pull it out, turn it, get behind it, see everything that's going on, and be able to work on it so much easier, make things so much cleaner when we're dealing with power supplies, all your connections, labeling, all those sort of things. So especially in a mid-level to upper end type of system, where we're dealing with a lot of components, super important. So, and ventilation. Okay, we've got the side panel off, and as you can see, I'll just have you look at the side. Just looking at the side, and I hope I have enough light so you guys can kind of see how everything's just laid out, and see, we either have pieces velcroed in, and just everything's nice and clean. Everything has its spot. We got camera NVR. We have a 24-port PoE switch, followed by another 8-port switch. It's non-PoE. We have the router right here, so everything network is right together. We have another camera NVR from Lawton right here. We have a surge protector. We have a Lutron piece, 2 Lutron pieces here, a main repeater for the radio raw stuff, and then for the select stuff. And then we have an S1 digital music streamer. It's super small. We have it on top of the long controller. And then here is just some blank shelving. We have actually 2 shelves here for future stuff. We have another blank that's going to go here. But everything's just completely laid out. We have another subwoofer amplifier right here for the main room. We have the Marantz preamp with the amp running all the stuff. So as far as what I'm going to show you guys today, as far as an update, we pretty much have done about mid-level up. It's taken a few hours to completely revamp. We took out a lot of stuff that wasn't being used anymore, because again, guys, we've changed equipment out quite a few times throughout this rack over the years, and so this is time to kind of clean it up. So now I want to spin this thing around, and hopefully you guys can see better. There we go. So, starting from the top, we have one simple, patch cable, Ethernet line coming from the Hike Vision, back down, and coming in. Everything you see has a label on it. If it doesn't have a label on it, then we've got a piece of blue tape with a label on top of it, only because we were relabeling so many, we actually ran out of labels. So the ones with the blue tape, we just wrote down the name. Now, that's way better than some of these racks that we came behind where you didn't even put a label on it. So everything is important to know what it is. So label everything. And so we put these nice white labels that are printed from our Dymo label maker, and man, it just makes everything so much nicer, especially when you come back. So like I said, here's the switch. So remember guys, when you're bringing in all your wires, they're coming in higher, and try to stick to one side being power and the other side being, your data, your speaker wires, all those sort of things. And then these are your laser bars. So, and we try to put a laser bar fairly close to, the device. That way we can manage the wires behind it. So we have all these nice wires going into the switch. They're all nice and labeled through here. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera. But it goes straight back to this laser bar, over and then back out, or back through, wherever the source is. And then we have the surge protection right here. Again, you'll see some with the white printed labels, but then the others have at least a piece of tape on the back with it neatly labeled. And we'll come back and change those out to the regular printed labels once we get this right finished. But like I said, guys, pretty much from here above has made a dramatic change. Just because there's so much junk and extra things, and then having these laser bars, super nice. And again, this is what really makes it nice. Try to incorporate as much Velcro strips as possible. For instance, it's a little double-sided Velcro strips. You can get them in, half inch, 3/4 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever you like. But anytime you need to add a new line going across, or change something out, or just make sure nothing's not too tight, to have it cut and recut, cut and recut, and we try not to use too many zip ties. Things that may be permanently fastened and nothing's got to run through, like this, power strip going across. We zip tie that because we'll never, move that. But, anytime you're dealing with wires that you're feeding across the laser bars or down the side, you may always run something through or need to pull something out. So Velcro is super nice. You can just wrap it right around, make it as tight as you want, and it looks nice and clean. So Velcro, I highly recommend, especially when your wires are going in different points to a particular component, just makes things so much cleaner. So like I said, most of everything we did the other day was working with these new patch cables. And what's nice about patch cables now, obviously you can make them all, but there's so many companies now that makes so many nice Cat 5 and Cat 6 patch cables with ends already on them. It speeds things along and still makes it super nice. You can get them in any color, so you can get them in pretty much any distance you want. We have 1-footers, 2-footers, 3-footers, 5-footers, 10-footers, you name it. We keep all the different sizes. So for instance, let me take one of these out, because you're always going to need a little bit longer than what you need to make it nice and clean going from point A to point B, because you're going kind of the long route. The whole idea is to keep this middle section as clean as you can possibly make it between components. The only time we have it like in this area, we have it going through this middle section, and it's not really in the middle, it's actually going directly from this laser bar straight into that switch. So get this little tie off here just to show you guys. So this is a 3-footer, I believe. So whether you're going to, I'll just run this as an example. You'll obviously put a label on it, and it's helpful, guys, if you put a label on both ends, not just one end, but both ends. And let's say we're going from the switch, you'll have it, and then you're going to go this route. Like I said, I'm not really going to anything. I'm just showing you guys. And you're going to make it nice and clean. And then, so you want to see how you bring it. The match was there before. And we'll bring it on the inside. And I would just take off these Velcro strips, each one of these, and hide it inside of that strip. I would do each one of those independently, and then bring it down and feed it through here and come down and come across. And so, yeah, it's lost in the mix where you don't know what's what. But if you label each end where it's plugged into, and then obviously at the source, it makes it super simple to relocate and super nice and clean. So try to keep, like I say, guys, from going you know, through the middle unless you're going across the laser bar and then right into a component. So hope this helps you guys out for those that are doing their own racks or are cleaning up their own racks. Seen some really, really bad racks out there. And unfortunately, I've seen them from other AV companies. And I wonder how they even got paid on some projects just looking at the racks. So, but anyway, guys, we enjoy doing racks. We try to take pride in our racks. Again, this one is not complete yet. Just showing you, if you look at the previous video, what it looked like before we started to clean it up. And if you see that last video, you'll see there was a lot of junk, a lot of extra wires, and a lot of mess. So we pulled a lot out, simplified it. It's now nice and clean between these sections, and pretty much, like I said, from here to here it's about done. We're waiting on a few components that's going to go in on these shelves. We don't have those yet, and we're still waiting on the multi-channel amplifier that'll go down here, which will add some more lacer bars that'll go behind this Marantz and relace everything up. We have all balanced cables going to that. So lots of fun, but lots of progress. So hope you guys are learning something and keeping up with our progress on our rack. Racks are so much fun, but they are a lot of work. Anytime we do a rack for a client, it's hours and hours of work. People wonder why it takes so long. Well, this is why it takes so long. You're trying to make everything, you know, a lot of times we use color-coded wires. This is years and years of wiring, so we have all different types of colors, which now we don't. We typically only use one or two colors, but you know, with all the labeling, and we're not just labeling one wire, we're labeling every wire, and we're labeling power supplies, and we're making sure it's all velcroed and it's nice and neat. So if we need to get back to it or work on it or find what's what, life is easier. So again, guys, hope you have any questions, if you have any comments, leave them down below. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and hope we see you on the next one. And Happy New Year, guys. See ya.